Many housewives have lost their marriages to house helps whom they hired to help them out in household chores because of other busy commitments out of the home. These house helps whom they hired to help eventually turned out not to be helpful. Hello, televiewers. Good evening, and we are delighted to welcome you on this live broadcast of issues on DMR TV coming your way at the moment. On this edition of the program, we look at house helps who are taking over homes and are displacing wives. It is a rising concern. At your end, do you think that house helps are indispensable, be it as a mother or as a wife? Do we really need house helps? If we do, what are the do's and the don'ts that must be highlighted when bringing in a housemaid? I am Fomucha Mirabel for presentation, calling on you to stay tuned to DMR TV as we come back right after the break with our guest on the program today. Once again, good evening, televiewers, and thank you for joining us on this edition of the program. We are welcoming on board our guest, who is no other person but Mrs. Lombe Constance. She is the Southwest Minprof Regional Chief of Service for the Promotion and Protection of the Family and Rights of the Child. She is also the founder of Visionary Care Foundation Cameroon. It is a privilege to have you, Madam, on the program. Good evening.
Good evening, Mirabel. Good evening, televiewers. It's a pleasure to join you on this platform today.
We are really happy to have Madame Lombe Constance giving her portfolio. We know that she's going to give us some great opinions on our program to the end. Before we get into the details of the program, I would like us to read a very short passage from this writer, Pastor T.O. Banso, who wrote an article, "Woman, Don't Let Your Maid Displace You." Woman, don't let your maid displace you. I'll just read a brief introduction of this article and then we are going to move over from there. And she says that the world is becoming increasingly complicated. The challenges confronting wives and mothers are grave. Combining the responsibilities of being a wife and mother with work and societal responsibilities is not only putting extreme pressure on women, but has actually turned many marriages and homes apart. Many wives have lost their marriages to housemates that they hired to assist them in doing household chores because of the busy schedule they have as a result of other demands on their time outside the home. Those who are full-time wives are not excluded from the havoc that house helps they procured have done to their marriage, despite the fact that they are at home most of the time. The housemates eventually became help that didn't help. The housemates eventually became help that didn't help. Some housemates are reported to have stolen the hearts of the husbands of their mistresses, making such victims vow never to hire housemates again. Now, that's the little paragraph or passage we are beginning with. And from there, I just want to find out from you your opinion on having a housemate, be it as a wife, a mother, or just as an individual. What's your opinion on having a housemate?
I think it has never been a bad decision having a housemate.
Okay.
Having someone to help you around can never be a bad decision. To me, it is something of mutual benefit. You are benefiting from the house help, and she too is benefiting from you.
Okay.
Because while she is helping you out, you don't just abandon her. It is a contract that you have to, maybe depending on the contract. Is it settlement? Is it a trade that she wants to learn at the end of it? So it is a matter of being responsible enough to do what you are expected of doing.
Okay.
Coupled with the triple roles of women in this dispensation, where women are career women, you have reproductive, you have to go to the office, you have children, you have community work. You can't do it all alone. You can't do it alone. So having a house help to help you around, it's not a mistake. But then I think an error that most of the women and wives commit is, when you bring these house helps, you need to set rules. You need to set rules. For example, a house help can't just come to your house and is throwing herself at your husband, and then you just like it is normal. Maybe she wants to go out, she just jump. How does it even start? Going out with your husband, how does it start? Look at the way they dress. There are certain things that you need to strengthen when they come. That is true. You cannot be dressing half naked. It is true, nothing justifies abuse.
Yeah.
That is the fact.
Yeah, because some men will say that she was abused because of the way she dressed. She had maybe she attracted them due to her dressing.
Yes, nothing justifies abuse. Even if a woman is naked
in front of you,
you shouldn't rape. You shouldn't sexually abuse her because she is naked. Because you have men who, even you and I stand naked in their presence, they wouldn't touch us. So as human beings, we should be able to control our emotions. House helps taking over wives' responsibilities. I think that the blame should be shared.
Okay.
The man has a part of the blame.
Okay. And the woman.
And the woman too.
Okay.
I mean, the three of them, they are into it.
The house help, the man, and the woman.
And the woman. But to a greater extent, I would blame the wife and the man.
Okay.
Why? This is a situation where one person is vulnerable, the house help. When you look at the power imbalance, the man is economically powerful, socially powerful, even physically more powerful
than the house help.
And he might even be the one initiating this relationship. At the end of the day, the woman will throw out the house help, not knowing that the initiation came from the man. And you know
and
that
even when the woman knows that it came from the husband, the woman is trying to protect her home.
To protect. At the end of the day, they exploit this vulnerable house help who has no other. And when you look at the background of most of these house helps, they come from
a very poor background.
Very poor background.
And so they are in that position because they need help.
They need help. And so we take advantage, we exploit them. A man will turn out blackmailing the girl. If you don't succumb to this, I will pack you out. You in that desperate situation, maybe that is the first child of the parents, and she is looking at
she's like the breadwinner of the
family. She is looking at her poor parents, her siblings that she needs to support. What does she do? At times, she might even refuse. But then when the man falls on her, even if she wants to complain to her madam, she will not believe. She might end up even throwing out her, blaming her that you are the one seducing my husband. We have seen such cases. We have heard many of such cases. They are not strange. But I think wives should be conscious enough to know some. We always see the red flags.
There are red flags.
We always see the red flags, but we choose to ignore. Before bringing in a house help, I think you should do a background check. If you are bringing in a house help, somebody like me, I will not accept somebody I don't know. Even if I don't know the person, but the person bringing that person should be able to tell me something about the person. And if you know someone's background, it is true people change, but it doesn't happen overnight. It means you have a part to play to that change. If she changes for the negative, it could be that you contributed to that change. How do you treat her? Because if you had treated her the way you want her to treat your own children, she wouldn't resort to doing that because she looks up to you as a mother. So she will not want to harm you, or because she will be thinking, if I do this to my mother, she sees you as a mother. She calls you mother, she calls you mommy. So in that situation, how would she be able to harm the mother? But if you treat her as a slave, she's a helper, for crying out loud. She's a helper. Treat her as your own, as you would want her to treat your children. They said, do unto me as you want others to do unto you. You don't bring somebody, you maltreat the person, and you expect some act of kindness. She could be doing that as an act of revenge. Who knows?
Exactly.
She could be doing it to revenge. And if she doesn't do with your husband, she will do with your children. She might end up spoiling the children.
That's true.
So we wives to our mothers, we should be careful the way we treat other people's children. They too came from people. So most often we fought the house help. But I think the house help has less power to seduce a man to doing what he doesn't want to do. At best, if her attitude is worse, that you cannot tolerate, if you've tried to caution her, if you have tried to bring her up in your own beliefs, in the culture of your house, you have given her rules and she doesn't abide to it, you can sack her.
You pack her out.
So it is easier for a man to quit that kind of how do I call it, seduction, or what should I call it? Unlike a house help who is tight in a corner.
Now, Madam Constance, you have enumerated a lot on some of the reasons why a house help will want to go an extra mile to have an emotional relationship with the husband. Now, some of these house helps, we are told, some of them can do it out of revenge. Now, and some people present reasons that these house helps are the ones who take care of not only the children but also the needs of the husband. And what they claim is that the wife of the house abandons basically everything to the house help to cater for. The children, the wife does not know what happens to the children. The wife does not bother about what happens to the husband. And so in that situation, what is your opinion on it?
As I earlier said, the blame is shared. The wife, you've brought somebody, you've not brought a wife. There are certain responsibilities that a woman should do them. A wife should do them. If you have brought in a house help, you should be able to define his or her roles in your house. Why are you bringing her? Some wives go up to the extent of leaving their husbands on this for the house help to wash. It is difficult combining 90 roles and that of a domestic help. We should be able to draw the line.
There should be some distinction.
There should be some distinction. If you overburden her, she will end up doing what you don't like. She will end up doing. So as a wife, there are certain things that your house help shouldn't do. Make it a responsibility to clean your husband's on this. Wash his dresses. Again, it is partnership. When you are married, it is partnership. If you are so burdened with your work, let your husband help you out. A man too can wash dresses. A man too can wash the undies. It shouldn't be a house help doing those things. Because by the time the house help start going closer to what you are supposed to do, frequenting your room, taking care of your husband, you are indirectly
exposing your
husband to this house help. And again, your frequent outings, it should be a discussion between you and your husband. Even when deciding to bring a house help, it should be a mutual discussion between you and your husband. It should be an agreement that he has accepted. He knows that you are not able to do it all, and that he too is not able to come in. That's why you should bring a house help. But that doesn't mean that she should take away everything from you people. You know what you should do. If it is the kitchen that she is handling, let her do the cleaning, the cooking. If it extends to children, let her do the washing of children's dresses. Clean, but leave your husband aside. Your husband is your husband. He is your responsibility. Take care of him.
Your husband is your husband. He is your responsibility. So do well to take care of him. We are welcoming on board Madam Kumsara. Hello, how are you today?
Thank you, Madam Mira. Thank you, televiewers. I'm sorry I'm coming late. Just sneak in and to chip in my own small contribution.
We are happy to have you. So let us go straight away. What do you think about housemates?
Madam Mira, housemates are domestic helper. We know of two animals or two functions of animals. We have the wild animals or two types. We have the wild animals
okay.
and the domestic animals. And housemates are classified under the domestic animals.
Okay.
That means they take care of the domestic functions.
Okay.
Domestic functions, that means within all those things that need to do around. Why go beyond the domestic animals? You cannot be a housemate and you start going beyond your duties, because house help are domestic helper. You know what they call somebody a domestic helper? A chicken is a domestic helper. A goat is a domestic animal. That means he lives within, he understands, and he knows his boundaries. Why a lion is a wild animal? That means he knows his boundary and he thinks that
he cannot.
if anybody cross that boundary, he needs to attack.
Okay.
So house helps are domestic animals, and they should know their boundaries. And the people employing them should know that they have to earn within this circle.
Exactly.
And if they want them to go beyond, they start taking them to be a wild animal. And you know what a wild animal can do?
It can definitely destroy.
For sure.
Talking about roles and responsibilities to be set clearly, I would like us to look at some of those roles that you will delegate to a house help as a mother and wife. What are some of those roles you will delegate to a house help?
Like I was saying about, I was still classifying house help as a domestic and the main wife as a wild animal, as a house help.
So according to your classification, you're putting the house helps as domestic animals and then the wives as the wild animals. Okay.
You have to be a domestic animal knowing that, okay, you take care of these things within. I have to clean within the compound. I have to chase those that are coming inside the compound.
You have to protect.
I have to protect the compound
from other maybe domestic animals and wild animals.
But if I'm a wild animal, if I touch you now, just imagine. Let me just cut it. I'm sorry, audience, but I have to cut it this way. Sarah is a wild animal to Madame Mirabel.
Okay.
That means anybody that touches Madame Mirabel, I'm supposed to do what? Attack. I am attacked to kill because I cherish Madame Mirabel. But if I'm a domestic animal, I'm attacked to protect and to give them their limits. Okay. That is how I feel about house help and housewife. Okay. I'm attacking to kill. But if I'm attacking to give limitations. Okay. So what I think is, the truth is, the wife today, they don't know their limitation, or they don't know what they are supposed to give to the house help. They don't know job description. They don't know how house help
should actually function.
There was this day on this same program, I was telling you in clear words, you are my mentor. That means you are my wild animal. If somebody comes around, I'm supposed to attack to destroy, and to tell the person that this is not what you think. But if you are my domestic animal, we'll discuss and collaborate. And when we are discussing and collaborating, I may be too linear too soft to accept those points that I don't know about you. So these days, house help have taken over housewife's duties, because maybe the housewife came in without knowing their functions as housewife. They were just coming in. Okay, this man wants to get married. Okay, he's getting married to me. I love him. We are going to sign. We are going to church and all the like. I have my own work to handle. He too has his own work to handle.
So we'll bring in the house help.
We'll bring in the house
to assist us.
But they have not defined the difference between a domestic and a wild animal. The house help now lives beyond
beyond what is expected of her.
Yes.
So she goes beyond what she's expected to do. Now, Madam Constance, I want us to draw some clear-cut lines on some of the duties of a house help vis-a-vis those of a housewife. Can you make that distinction for us, Madam Constance?
Okay. There should be a clear cutting, a clear line that defines the role of a house head. And this should be done at the beginning of the contract. Let her know she is in charge of the house and not the husband.
Okay.
She
house
is
helps,
not
you are in charge of the house and not the husband.
Not the husband. To an extent, she is also in charge of, that's if she combines nanny duties. She is equally in charge of the children. By so doing, she has to cook for the children. She has to clean the house. She has to do laundry for the children, not for the husband. To an extent, she can do for the wife, because it is same sex, except they want to become lesbians.
Okay, so you will allow the housemaid to wash the dresses of the wife, but not the dresses of the husband.
The husband.
Okay.
Not the husband. Talk less of.
And not to cook for the husband as well.
No, she can
cook for the husband. Okay.
But let it not be
a routine, every time.
She is there. She can equally cook, but you serve the meal.
Okay.
And in that way, you are not completely absent. No matter how burdened you are, but you can always create time for your family, for your husband.
Madam Constance, there is a saying that the emotions of men, it rises from the food they eat. I don't know how true that is. When men eat good food, they start thinking of how good that woman can be. And when men are being taken care of, because when we talk about house helps, they are like caregivers in a certain way. They are giving care to the children, they are giving care to the wife, and they are giving care to the husband. And truth be told, everybody likes to be taken care of.
Of course.
Even you and I seated here today, we love to be taken care of. And those who treat those house helps who are very nice, some housewives really treat them nicely because of the care they realize that these house helps are giving to their homes. But now, because of the care, the husbands see that, oh, this food is so sweet, and maybe I should move beyond the food to the house help. Madam Sarah, what do you think about this? Because this is a common opinion that is in our society today, that because the house help cooks so well, the meal maybe tastes better than that of the wife, it starts attracting the husband to the house help.
Madam Mira, I will just try to code this like we hear and we struggle to analyze. They say man picking a belly and the underbelly. I don't know how true it is. Even us, truth be told, even some of us, when we go to an occasion, we are cater or we struggle to look on the food we eat. And when we eat a very good meal, we start asking,
who prepared this meal? And we start taking the contacts of the caterers.
Because we need them. Let us be frank here. The truth is, the house help and the wives have not defined their functions, or the person employing have not struggled to define their functions. There are things house help should not do. There are things house help should not do. And if you allow those things to house help, what are you doing? You are giving the house to the house help.
So what are the things that these house helps shouldn't do?
You are my helper. I will not allow you cook my food. Because this day we see poison. I'm sorry to say this.
We are just talking about the realities.
These days we see poison to be very common. And that is why we see it very common to say that those that poison persons, they are those
who are very close to you.
Close to you. How come they are close to you? They are those you have employed. When you define functions, there are those things will not happen. I cannot have you as my husband. We're talking about matrimony here. The first reason of marriage
is companionship.
And what are those things that comes to companionship? Care. I cannot have you as my husband for companionship, and you are bringing someone to cook for me.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think I have a different opinion to this, because you and I, we know the triple role of a woman. The woman puts to birth, the woman takes care of the child, and gone are those days when women were staying at home to say that I am just what's your function?
100%
good.
housewife.
You see on their ID card, housewives. Those things are fading away.
They are.
If you look at the identity card of women now, you really not see housewives. You see their profession highlighted there. Farmer, communication, I am this. So
Madam Mira,
yes,
these days it is true that no woman is supposed to leave or to stay behind the bars.
Exactly.
But
so because when you talk
it is
about
also very important. You see, this gender equality, it is good. But
so the man and the woman should be able to cook.
No, the man and the woman are not supposed to cook. They are supposed to discuss, to get to that level of. Do you know why these days most often you see housewife coming to take Oga? Because the women or the madams left everything at the hands of the house help.
Okay.
At the end of the day, men like comfort, men like care, men like respect. Oga, I am supposed to iron your dress. Oga, this evening, what are you supposed to eat? Or they say that you are supposed to take this. Oga, or
will you like some pepper in the rice? Will you like some onion? You know, they always ask
all those questions. Yes.
You think I think I would like to disagree with you a bit on this one.
Okay.
When you take an example of a typical career woman.
Yeah.
If I take my own case, for example, I was working in the far north region. I would leave the house very early, come back very late. What should I do? I have brought in a house help to help cook. Not to go beyond cooking. It is difficult for a woman to do it all
alone. Yeah.
As I said from the onset, she is helping. It doesn't mean you should abandon it to her. On weekends, maybe you are at home.
Yeah.
Assist in the cooking. Assist in the laundry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that she doesn't cook at all. What is she doing there? Because probably you have somebody who is doing the laundry, and you brought another one for the cooking.
Yeah.
People who have the means, they might have two mates, one doing the laundry
and one doing the
another
cooking.
One doing the cooking. So are you saying because I don't want somebody to snatch my husband, I should kill myself with the burden? No. A man should be mature enough to discipline himself. Because from the onset, it is a mutual understanding to bring in a house help. You, a man, you are aware of the burden your woman is carrying. You know that this woman cannot do it alone. She needs help. Most often, or at times, these suggestions come from the men.
Yeah.
So after suggestion, when the woman comes or when the help comes, you turn her into a wife. You should be emotionally mature enough to discipline your third foot, knowing fully.
Madam I just want to react to Madam what she is saying. Recently, on the 25th, Davido got married to Choma.
Yes.
There was this saying. There was a slight question that was being asked to Davido.
Yeah.
Will you still allow her to cook? He shouted, "Isabi cook and Isabi cook." Then they were like, "What do you mean by he cook and he cook?" That because Choma is a chef and she could handle the both function at once. It's not that we are telling house help to go and take their masters, but we are only begging that when you bring in a house help, struggle to define his or her functions. You know, when we look at it very well, we are talking about her. But you know about house help who are male and go around flirting around
with the wife,
with the wives, and even the daughters of the masters. It is very common. And now the children are helpless.
And again, you have brought up a very important point, because Madam Constance will come back to you to really understand practically how you did manage your home when you left very early in the morning and came back very late at night. Because truth be told, we are seeing that some of these house helps, they take over the wives, or sorry, they take over the husbands, because madam is not always there. And it's same case with the husbands. When the wife, they are not always there, they are busy, they are, career women. We are always in the far north, we are out of the country, we have just little time to spend with our husbands. When the house help is there, the house help, who is a man, takes over the care
of the wife,
the emotional care of the husband, and you start finding children. They start doing DNA tests after 5-10 years, and some of the results have proven that those who were house helps are
the real father.
They are the real father of the children. Madam Constance,
as I keep saying, and I will maintain it, it takes discipline. There is no way out of it, except you want to say you will not bring a house help into your home. Because either way, a womanizer remains one, and a woman that is a flirt remains a flirt. No matter how you do it, they will always find. Do you know that there are women who are 100% housewife, but the men still sleep with the house help? They will always find a way out. Take them to a brothel, sneak out. By the time you send the house help maybe to the market, the man just corners his way and finds his way. They happen. So it takes discipline. It takes discipline. The wife should be disciplined. The husband should be disciplined. Because no matter how you do it, you have men whom, when their wives are sleeping in the night, they sneak
out of the room and go to meet the house.
Even if you've not seen it, we've seen it in movies.
Movies are actually the reality.
So is it that the wife was not around? If it is that she doesn't do it the way you want it, she doesn't cook the way you want her to cook,
teach her. Send her for maybe a lesson, cookery lesson.
Let her improve.
Let her improve on herself.
If it is that she doesn't satisfy you the way you want,
talk about
it. It is dialogue. It's all a matter of dialogue. As I said, she will always come in. She will not abandon her home to the house help, but there is no way out of it.
So I think Madam Constance is telling us today that her opinion is a flirtatious woman is a flirtatious woman.
Of course.
Whether the husband is there 24/7, if that woman wants to cheat with the house help, the woman is going to cheat Likewise, the men.
Mm-hmm.
A man who flirts around is a man who flirts around. So, are you saying that house helps should not be blamed? There's nothing that a house help cannot attract a husband.
Not at all. Not at all. They should know their boundaries.
So
They should know their boundaries. They should know that, because some of these house helps too, they are really dangerous. But if you see one, don't be afraid to let go.
Yeah.
Let her go or let him go. Because no matter what you do, if she doesn't get your husband, she will get your child.
Or she'll get your friend.
Or your friend. So you should let these bad ones go.
Madam Mira, what I always struggle to discuss here, that family discussion is very important. How often do husband and wife,
how often do they discuss?
do they sit and discuss? You will discover that most often it is maybe one of these parties that decide to bring in a house help. Maybe the wife or the husband, without the
consent of both parties.
And then they start getting disagreement. But when we get to that point of husband and wife sitting to discuss, the society becomes very good. Because now Madam Constant lives far. She is married and she has a husband that's supposed to sit together
and talk about
and decide that because of this and this, we are bringing a house help. And these are the functions of the two party agrees.
But will you agree or will you disagree that some house helps actually seduce their masters and mistresses?
Those are witches and wizards. Yes, there are some house help that comes in for a purpose,
to destroy.
Because if they sit and decide to bring in a house help, I'm not sure the man is the one to look for the house help. The woman is the one to start checking who comes in as a house help. And sorry to say this, the man is the head or the head of the family. But the woman, without a successful man, or with a successful man, behind a successful man, there's a woman. The woman is there to pilot that event. So those things to discuss on house choices depends on the woman. And if you allow the woman, and after the discussion you allow the woman to go ahead bringing in a house help, that means you trust your wife and you know what she can do, and she is in a better position to look on that discipline and that mature every house help to bring. But there are some women that check, they don't even check, they just ask. And you find house help, you know someone, the worst enemy is that person that is too close to you. And most often the women get their house help from their best friends without knowing who they are bringing into their house. And
sometimes we trust our best friends so much such that we cannot imagine that these best friends can betray us
against you.
Exactly. And some of these best friends are not really happy with your home.
That's true.
So if you ask them, I beg, I don't need picking, especially when you are pressured. You know that when you start looking for a house help, it is when you really have some pressure on you. And so whoever comes your way, you just see that person as the right person and the solution to your problem. So we really don't find or really don't take our time
to do a background check.
to do your checks and balances. Though we are not saying that these checks and balances will be 100% correct, but it gives you there is a margin of assurance. It reduces the risk of you getting into trouble. So before we get into some of those things we have to watch out for when we are looking for house helps, because these house helps don't only take over the wives, they take over the homes. And the homes, we are talking about the children. We have children who love their house helps more than they love even the parents of the home. So we have to look at that too, and how we can we can help as parents to mitigate that within the family. This message is coming in. It says that, hello, Madam Mirabel, good evening. This is a topical issue. How will you explain the fact that a woman will leave her children entirely with the house help to understand their needs and joy? When this happens, a caring house help will attract the love of not only the children, but also that of the husband, because he sees that care which every man deserves and which he doesn't get from the wife. So let the busy woman not complain if her husband and children are well taken care of, and the man decides to shower emotions on her house help as a result. Busy women, you must sit up. Madam Constance, you have a reaction to this? Sorry, this is coming from Mary Ann from Limbe. Thank you, Mary Ann, for your contribution. Madam Constance?
I love one word she uses, care. The husband will care for her. What does care do? Care doesn't exploit. When you have a sexual relationship with this house, it is exploitation. If the husband cares so much for her, he shouldn't be sleeping with the girl, because in effect he is having fun while exploiting. Has the girl, this house help, consented to it? Mm-hmm. And we know what consent is. We have informed consent when she is capable of saying that, yes, I agree to this relationship. Let them be in equal power. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They should have equal power for him to consider that she has consented to the relationship. If not, it is exploitation, and that is not care. Care should go beyond that. Care should go beyond sexual intercourse. If you love her so much because of the way she takes care of you, the children, and the house, train her, give her what she wants, empower her. Empower her. That is what caring does. Protect her from the wild animals. Let me use
protect her from the wolves.
Protect her from the wolves.
Yeah.
Yes. You shouldn't take advantage of her because she is caring for your children. Is it a crime to care for your children? Is it a crime to care for you? Is it a crime to take care of your house? You pay her back by exploiting her. And when she gets pregnant, abort.
You say, why don't you allow her to give birth to the child?
Why don't you allow her to give birth, since you so much love her?
And you want it to be a secret. Yes, if you love her so much, why not expose it to your family?
Get married
to her. Even though some of them, like we know, some of them have actually displaced the wives and taken over the home as wives. Some of the house helps have actually displaced the wives, and they have become the wives of the homes.
They have. That is because the third party allowed it to happen. The man was just looking for an opportunity, because a man who truly loves the
wife will not go in for a house help.
If the wife is falling short of something, you will help her improve.
That wife.
Or you will compliment. It is a relationship. You compliment each other.
Yeah.
Where she is falling short, you come in and compliment. You lift her up, not by degrading her and going down to the house head.
Yeah.
It doesn't help the man.
It doesn't help the woman.
As the man has left Madam A to Madam B, it means when he brings, because that Madam B too will need a house help.
Exactly.
Meaning that when he brings another house help,
they will leave Madam B to Madam C.
Who is better than that Madam B, he will fall for Madam C, and he will continue doing that.
And it just goes back to what you said, that a man who is not disciplined remains someone who is not disciplined.
That's the truth.
So it lies in being disciplined.
Because when he was getting married to Madam A, hey, you are the sugar in my tea, the butter in my bread. What has happened to that sugar and to that butter? It means another butter has come, and another butter will come added to mayonnaise. So when you fail to discipline yourself, but wives, we should be watchful. When you see those red flags, pack her. She isn't worth the stress.
And which also means that we should be watchful when you see those red flags. Send them away, but also ask yourself, what happened? along the line?
Of course.
Am I the cause of what
course.
is happening? Like Madame Sarah has been saying all along, discuss these things out with your husband. Husband, what is going on? Sometimes you will know definitely what is going on, because before you got married to your husband, except the man was pretending, you will definitely know what the
kind
man
of person
you're
is.
getting married to. So when those things start happening, because we also think that wives, we give in a lot, we are lax, especially when we start putting to bed. When we start having 1-2 children, we think that we have crowned the man. He is the king of the house. He is the king of our world. But we don't do those things that make him to remain the king of the world. We have to continue. Wives, mothers, we have to continue doing all those things which make the man the king. Truth be told, men are weak as well as women are weak. That's the reality of the society. Because sometimes these men go out of not being disciplined, and you ask them what really happened, they cannot explain.
And that's the truth. A male colleague said, Madam Constance, you see this woman, I might just sleep with her and the next I'll not even
recognize her face. Not even her name.
Because I'm just moved by the third foot. But then you have some men who are disciplined. So if one can be disciplined, it means others too can be disciplined. You have men, no matter what you do to seduce them, they will not fall for those cheap seduction. Talk less of a house help that they see like their own daughter or their own son.
Okay. All right. Glory from Moliko says that, good evening, madam. My opinion will be that it depends on the situation, which I can defend my point for everyone to see. Good evening to all of you. So she says it depends on the situation. Now, Madam Sarah.
Madam Mira, I am sorry to. It's not like I am for the fact that the house help should be in charge. I am never for that fact. But I am for the fact that we should know the reason for getting married.
Okay.
Most of us women, we think that getting married is for the fact of procreation. Procreation is the second reason
why we got married.
We are deciding to get into this relationship or to get married. But now we think of procreation. I can give child to this man, or I'm giving a child to this man, and I think that it should be like this. And because I am a career woman, this man is supposed to understand
that I'm a career woman.
I'm a career woman. You are not even getting to that point of feeling how this man is feeling or thought of getting married to you. I am sure it was here when we were talking about traveling abroad. Women leaving their husband and going abroad. And somebody vow here that if his wife ever dream of, she should not even think
of leaving
him, because she does not know the pain of building that relationship to that level of traveling abroad and leaving her or leaving him behind. Let's not pretend. We think like, if I get married to you today and I can give birth to a child, that is the final point. That's not all. And most often, I don't give pikino. Wait till one time. I should work money and also take it. That is true. But do we often have that part to sit and discuss? Do we know that married is not all about childbearing? Do we know that married is all about taking care
of each other?
Do we feel like if this woman is not there now, what do I think? Like that man who was sitting here and telling us in clear words that I am saying this here. If my wife think of traveling abroad, she should forget about me. Yeah. That after building my youthful age of getting married, that point I need her and
that's when she's no longer there.
So now we start leaving our husband thinking that we are career women. It is
leaving our husbands for the house help to take care of them.
Now when they start coming,
should we then leave the financial burdens to the man so that will be there 100% for him?
Should
what
wives
happens when the man decides to travel abroad? The woman will wait for him. Is it that the woman too doesn't got feelings?
Now,
we all have feelings that we need to discipline ourselves.
Are we saying that as wives and mothers we shouldn't work because we are protecting that gift that God has given to us, our husbands? Are we saying that our husbands should be disciplined enough to draw a boundary between their wives and their housemates? Are we saying that the husbands too shouldn't work because they are protecting their wives from being stolen by the housemates? These questions should be answered by each and every one of us. I want your last words as we conclude. Time is against us. We have to round up on today's edition of the program. Madam Constance, what are your concluding words?
I think, and I'm still maintaining, husbands, wives should be able to discipline themselves.
Okay.
You have the moral responsibility to protect your home, to protect your children. What image are you even giving?
Okay.
Sleeping with your house help and your children gets to know about it tomorrow. House help too should know their boundaries. They should know that when coming in, they are coming to assist, not to take over. And they should remember that what happens to coffee will definitely happen to cocoa.
See where they happen for coffee go definitely happen for kaka. That's why our parents used to tell us that. Yes. Thank you, Madam Constance. Madam Sarah, your last words?
My last words are these. We should struggle. Both the wife and the husband should agree before going in for house help. And the wife should know their duties. Do not bring in domestic animal to take in the functions of wild animals. Okay. Because the moment domestic animals becomes wild animal, you are losing it. Know what you are going for and discuss it with your husband. Domestic animal are just those things that they use around. Yeah. Wild animal goes beyond the surrounding.
Thank you so very much, Madam Sarah. It has been wonderful having you on the program, Madam Constance. We look forward to having you again on the program Issues if your schedule permits. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and we say thank you to our technical team who made it possible for the live broadcast of today. Our viewers, we say thank you, all those who sent in their contributions. I remember the name Glory and Mary Ann. Thank you so much for your contributions. We have been talking about house helps who take over the household and the displace their wives, and we are saying that house helps should be able to know their boundaries, and these boundaries must be set by the parents of the house. Housewives, do not abandon everything. There are things, there are activities that the house helps shouldn't, must not carry out. With that, we come to the end of our program Issues today, and we hope to be again with you on a Friday next week, same time, same channel. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.